Hello guys, my name is Vijay Kumar Waka. I'm working as senior solution consultant in Epicero. Today let us discuss about Anypoint MQ. So what do you mean by MQ? So MQ means message queue. Now let us see about the Anypoint MQ. So if we go through about the introduction, this MQ provides publish subscribe messaging to Mule applications, okay, using the Anypoint MQ cloud service. So this Anypoint MQ connector or the service was given by MuleSoft itself, and using this you can store the messages in the queues, and also you can consume them whenever you want. And Anypoint MQ also has a REST API for publishing or consuming messages using frameworks such as Node.js, Java, Go, Lang, and DevOps Bash scripts. So not only Mule applications, even you can publish the messages or consume the messages using the different frameworks as listed here. And also it provides you something called as DLQ, that is dead letter queue. So whenever you consume the message and if they fail at the time of processing, then um, you can push back into the queue, and based upon the setting on the DLQ, based upon the setting on the queue configuration, you can move to DLQ after certain redeliveries exhausted. Okay, so this session, in this session, we will not discuss about DLQ. That we'll cover in the next session. But let us see different operations in Anypoint MQ connector, and what are all the requirements. How do we set up uh, these Anypoint MQ flows in the Anypoint Studio, and also how do we set up different things in Anypoint platform. That is what we are going to see in this session. Now, if we talk about requirements, yeah, you need to have basic understanding, um, regarding the Anypoint Studio, Anypoint connectors, and application flows. And this Anypoint MQ connector is free. What does it mean? So you'll be able to download it from the Anypoint Exchange, but in order to interact with the Anypoint MQ service, okay, within the Anypoint platform, you require a license. Okay, so it won't come in the trial account. You cannot work on this POC or these concepts by using the trial account. You have to use enterprise subscription only. Now, so these are the operations that we have in the Anypoint MQ. So, when if you are able to see within the add module section, it's fine. You can add it to your project. But if you are not seeing, you just click on this search in Exchange, you enter the Anypoint platform credentials, and you download this connector. Okay. So these are the operations we have in the Anypoint MQ. So that is, so let's talk about publish. So what does it mean by publish? So publish is nothing but you are publishing a message into the queue. You are pushing a message into the queue. Okay. Now, so once you publish the message into the queue, that is meant for consumption, right? So you'll use subscriber or consume to consume a message from the queue. So once it is consumed, yeah, we have to delete the message from the queue, right? So that is where this ACK and NACK will come into the picture. So when you send an ACK, that means the full form of ACK is acknowledgement. So when you send ACK, the message will be deleted from the queue. And when you send a NACK, that is no acknowledgement, then that will be placed back into the queue from the in-flight mode. We'll see what is in-flight mode and what is in queue. Okay. Now, so what is the difference between consume and subscriber? So subscriber is something, it's an operation where you can only place in the source part of a flow. Okay. But consume is something you can add to the flow in the processor section only. Okay. Yeah. So we talked about all these five operations in the Anypoint MQ connector. Now, so I'm not going to show you the Anypoint platform. Okay, but I'll show you the snapshots. Okay, and you can, if you have the enterprise subscription, right? You can follow this procedure and you can work on these POCs or this use case to understand the concepts. Okay, so in order to start with the Anypoint MQ POCs or working on the Anypoint MQ, right? So first of all, we have to create a client app. So client app is nothing but it gives you a client ID and client secret. Okay, so that is required um, as an authentication parameter. Um, for example, if you want to publish a message into the queue, right? So you have to be authenticated. You have to authenticate yourself, right? To interact with the Anypoint MQ service. Okay, so for that we have to create a client app. So in order to do that, first of all, log into the Anypoint platform. Click on MQ here, as shown in this below screenshot, under the Management Center. Okay, so just click on the MQ here. Once that is done, now you'll get this interface. Okay, like this. So you'll see this kind of interface or a web page. Okay, and so click on Client Apps here. Okay, so once you click on the Client Apps, click on the plus button here. So creating the client apps will be a specific to environment. You see here, you could see here it as development, right? So if you click on this button, you'll get a list of environments. Let's say like development, QA, prod, staging, pre-prod, whatever. So you'll get list of environments that were configured in your Anypoint platform, and this client app creation is specific to environment. Okay, you can create a client app in dev and QA and prod or pre-prod SIT. It is specific to environment. Okay, so now let's go with the development environment. Okay, of all the available environments, and click on client apps. Forget about this. Click on client apps and click on plus button here. Okay, so once you click that, you will be popped up with this window. Okay, and you just have to name it, or you have to just give a name to this okay, so you have to give a name and you have to click on save changes. So once you do that, right, so I have given a name like client app dev, and once I clicked on save changes, I have gotten this client app ID and client secret, and you just have to copy these two things. That's it. So these things we will be configuring in the Anypoint Studio when you're creating the configuration for the Anypoint MQ. Okay, so you have to copy these two things in a notepad, and later you can configure in the Anypoint MQ configuration. Now, along with these two things, right, you also have to copy this URL of the region where you create the queues. So you can create the queues in multiple regions provided by MuleSoft. Okay, but because that region will have some URL like this, right? So you have to copy this URL as well, and this is one of the configuration parameters when you create the Anypoint MQ configuration. So if you click this drop down, right, you'll get different regions. So you can create the queue in any region as per your wish. Okay, yeah. So the configuration parameters for Anypoint MQ is URL and the client ID and the client app ID and the client secret. All these three things you have to configure in the Anypoint MQ configuration. Yeah. So yeah. Now this is how you can do. So first, if you have this Anypoint MQ connector in the add module section, we are good. As I already discussed, if it is not there, then you have to get it from the exchange. Once that is done, go to the global elements of your global configuration. Okay, and add this Anypoint MQ configuration. So click on create and enter Anypoint. When you start typing Anypoint MQ, Anypoint, you'll get this Anypoint MQ config automatically, and you have to select it and enter these details, right? I have entered the URL here and client app ID here and client secret here. Okay, so once you do all these things, you have to click on test connection. So if you have configured this client app in Anypoint platform and you have configured this configuration properly, then it will result into success. Okay, test connection successful. Now, so we are done with Anypoint MQ configuration, the Anypoint Studio as well. Okay, right? Now, now, in order to publish the message into the queue, we need to create a queue. Okay, so how can we create a queue? Now, so as I have shown you in the previous slides, you could see here destinations, right? So you have to click on the destinations, and as soon as you click on the destinations, right, you'll get a um, on the right top, right, you'll get a plus button, and once you click on the plus button, right, you'll get this menu like queue, exchange, and FIFO queue. Okay, so because now we are going to deal with the queue, so let's click on queue. So as soon as you click on the queue, you'll get this kind of window. So forget about this ID. This is what I have configured. Okay. Yeah. Sorry guys, I got a disturbance, so I have paused the video for a moment. Yeah. So once you click on the queue, right, you have to, I mean, you'll get this kind of pop-up window, and you have to fill this ID by naming it. So for the time being, I have named it as demo-queue. So as per the naming convention in your project, right, you can name the queue. So once you are done with this, um, yeah. So if we talk about the TTL, right? So this is nothing but time to live. So by default, it is 7 days. Okay. So you can alter these things um, according to different. I mean, as per different dependencies. Okay. You can mock this, but this should be fine enough, right? And the default acknowledgement timeout is 2 minutes. So so yeah, we'll talk about this acknowledgement later. And as I have spoken about the DLQ, right? You can even configure a DLQ. So, uh, and whenever, mm so this DLQ we'll talk about it later. Okay. So the DLQ is dead letter queue, and I have already spoken a little about this. Okay. But this is how you basically create a queue, and these are the default settings that you see. So we also have Exchange and FIFO queue, right? So if I talk a little about Exchange, Exchange is nothing but um, it will help you to send the message to multiple queues at a time. Okay, so this is nothing but you can broadcast a single message into multiple queues at a time. That is the reason you see this diagram, right? This, okay, you are seeing some different branches here, right? So it means that you publish once, and that will be available in multiple queues with the help of Exchange. So we'll talk about this later in the next session. Okay, and let's talk about FIFO queue as well. So FIFO queue, what does it mean by FIFO? That is nothing but first in, first out. Okay, so here when you deal with the queue, right, the let's say I have sent one message at 11 a.m. and one more message at 11:05 and one more at 11:10 a.m. Okay. Now, when when the subscriber picks the message from the queue, okay, it won't pick in the same sequence the way I published into the queue. But you'll get that guarantee when you work with FIFO queue. So the sequence you publish into the queue in the same sequence that will be consumed uh, from the I mean through the subscriber. So that is the use of or the advantage of using the FIFO queue. Okay. Now let's go ahead discussing about a small flow. So I have configured a HTTP listener, and um, I mean, this you can configure as per your wish. I have configured it on 8081 port and um, with the resource name as publish. Okay, and here I have configured logger, right? So I'm just printing the payload whatever I'm receiving from the postman. That's it. Now here I'm actually publishing into the queue. Okay, so as you could see here, right? I have chosen this Anypoint MQ configuration here, and after that, whatever the queue I have configured or I have created in the Anypoint platform, like the way I have shown in the previous slides, I have configured the demo queue here. Okay, and this is the default you'll see, and we'll talk about the user properties in the next session. Okay, yeah. So now you send some message from Postman. Yeah, but ideally, yeah, you have to make this application up and running in order to see how publish operation works. Okay, so please make your application up and running according to your configuration on this HTTP listener, right? You configure the Postman and you send a sample message, and um, it should be published into the queue. Okay, so yeah, please make your app up and running and send a JSON message, and you should see the message in the queue. Now, you see, this is the snapshot I have captured. You see, this is the post operation, and this is the URL, and you see, this is the sample message or the payload that I have published or posted through the postman. Okay, this is the response, and the main thing is what we have to discuss is that you see, it is being shown in this demo queue. Okay, so like this. So once you once you publish successfully, right? Okay, so in this scenario, you'll get this acknowledgement, right? So go to the Anypoint platform, click on MQ, and click on um, this search for this queue in the menu in the destinations. Okay, click on the destinations, search for the queue whatever you have created, and once you find the queue, right, you click on that hyperlink. So once you do that, right, you'll get these three options, and then you click on the message browser. So message browser, in the sense, it gives you the number, I mean, it will help you to see the messages whatever are there in the queue. Okay, um, so I hope you understood that. So please click on the message browser, and it will display the messages whatever the queue contains. Here in this scenario, we have only published one message. That is the reason we are seeing only one message. If you publish 50 messages or 100 messages, you'll be able to see those many messages. Um, okay, in the queue now. So this is how you'll be able to see. You see here, payload size is 28 bytes, and payload type is application slash JSON, and the encoding is UTF-8, and when it was created, what is the content of the payload, you could see here, and you can even delete it from the queue by clicking on this delete option. Okay, yeah. So as I said, we'll discuss about user properties later. So now, yeah, so if I show the same thing in the Anypoint Studio, right? Yeah, this is the path I have configured, publish and logger, right? I'm just printing that thing, and I'm publishing here. Okay, that's it. So we are done with the publish operation in the Anypoint MQ. Now let us discuss about how to consume a message using subscriber. So subscriber is used to consume the message from the Anypoint MQ. Okay, we have published the message, and now we have to subscribe or consume it. Okay, so we'll use subscribe operation for that. Now, once you subscribe the message, right, or consume the message from the Anypoint MQ, you have to send the acknowledgement. Okay, so for that reason, we have different acknowledgement modes, and it is mandatory for you to choose one of the acknowledgement modes when you work with the subscriber operation. Okay, so if I show you this uh, flow, right, uh, and subscriber operation, you see here we have an option called as acknowledgement mode, and you have three options, that is auto, immediate, and manual. Okay, I have created three to I mean these remaining flows will discuss about the subscriber itself and what are the difference between these different acknowledgement modes that we'll discuss. Okay, so I'll be subscribing from the I'm using the subscriber to consume a message from the queue, and here I'm just logging the payload, whatever I'm picking or consuming a message from the queue. Okay, now let's discuss about these acknowledgements. We have automatic, immediate, and manual. So automatic short form is auto. That's what we have seen in the configuration. Now, if you choose auto as the default ACK mode, then what happens? Okay, if what happens is you don't need to explicitly configure these operations like ACK or NAC. Okay, but how it will decide when to send ACK and when to send NAC by itself? Okay, that is the question. Now, if it is auto, what it will check? It will consume the message and it will check if the processor section, this is the processor section, right? Though I have simple logger here, you may have lot of business logic, okay, here, okay, and this flow internally checks or subscribers understands that if the processor section resulted into success or no issues, or it resulted into some errors, so it will understand that way, and based upon that it will receive the acknowledgement to the queue. Okay, so if there are no errors, right, um, it will receive ACK. If there are any errors, let's say you got some errors and you are not um, you're not configuring, you are not resolving those errors at the processor level itself, okay, using on error continue. So that means it's an error to the to within this flow, right? It's an error within this flow. So if it is an error, it sends NAC internally or automatically. If there are no errors, it will send ACK to the queue. So whenever the queue receives an ACK or NAC, it will either remove, if it is an ACK, it will remove the message, or if it is a NAC, that is no acknowledgement, it will move the message from the in-flight mode to the in queue. That means it will keep the message in the queue for one more pickup or one more redelivery. Okay, so that is the advantage of using auto mode. Okay, you don't need to explicitly configure ACK or NAC, but it gives you um, some more advantage that okay, if the processor section is failing, then it is a NAC to the queue. If it is not failing or there are no errors in the processor section, it will send an ACK automatically. Okay, yeah. So that is what I have kept here. Yeah, these things I just copied from the documentation, nothing new. Yeah. Now, now let's yeah. So this is the whatever I have spoken in the last few minutes, right? So this is about that auto mode. So as soon as you make the up and running, the message in the queue should be consumed and deleted from the queue if there are no errors from flow execution. If any errors, right, during the flow execution, the message is not acknowledged. That means it's a NAC, and the message is returned to the queue for the redelivery. So you are placing that queue within the, that message back into the queue. So that will be picked up or that will be available for the pickup by any consumer. You can have multiple consumers from, like we can have multiple consumers, right? Uh, there is a queue, and let's say we have five subscribers. We can have five subscribers as well, or four subscribers as well, pulling the messages from that queue. Okay. So once you place put back the message into the queue. Whatever the subscribers that are trying to consume the message from that queue, okay, that message will be available for all the subscribers. So that's what I mean. Now let's talk about the immediate mode. So immediate mode in the sense, yeah. So here you could see the acknowledgement mode as immediate, right? So it means that as soon as the message is consumed, okay, it will simply send acknowledgement to the queue. That means as soon as you pick up or you consume, it will be deleted from the queue. But it won't bother about the processor section's result. Okay, irrespective of whether this particular processor section is resulting into success or failure. I mean, if there are errors or no errors, it doesn't matter for the queue in this mode. It will simply delete the message from the queue as soon as it is consumed, as soon as the message is consumed. So here you'll not get that guarantee that okay, if the message is resulting into an error, you'll not get that guarantee that it will be redelivered to this flow once again. So that's the difference here. Okay. And yeah, here there is no concept of ACK or NAC. Okay. It will be always ACK or it will be deleted always from the queue once it is consumed. So this is the simplest one of all these three acknowledgement modes. Yeah, based upon your use case, right? Based upon your preference or um, your use case, you have to select the best acknowledgement mode out as per your use case. Okay. Now, uh, the last one is manual. But before we go into that, right, let's see the slide that is related to immediate acknowledgement mode. Yeah, the message will be deleted from the queue as soon as it is consumed, irrespective of the flow execution. So yeah, we spoke conceptually on this thing, right? Yeah. So we are good to go ahead with the manual acknowledgement mode. Now, use manual mode if you want the app logic to control message acknowledgement. So here the advantage you get is it is up to you when to send the ACK and when to send the NACK. It is up to you or it is up to us when to send ACK and when to send NAC. Okay. But here it is like it will understand if the flow is resulting or the processor is resulting into error or failure. Sorry, error or failure or success. Okay. Here it is up to us to have a control on the ACKs or NACK. Okay. Now this is the flow. So here, right, this is where you'll actually add or you may need ACK or NACK operations to be added to the flow when you select the acknowledgement mode as manual, right? This is where you have to add ACK or NAC to your processor section. Okay. Yeah. So this is the subscriber, and we have chosen the acknowledgement mode as manual. And you see here, I'll show this configuration ACK token. So what does it mean by ACK token? I'll talk about this. Here I'm printing the payload simply, whatever I'm consuming from the queue. And here I'll show you the configuration, how it looks like. Okay. But here basically what we are doing, we are always sending an ACK to the subscriber so that this is where as soon as this queue, whatever we have configured in the subscriber gets this ACK, then only it will be deleted from the queue. Okay. Yeah. So in this case, we have to explicitly send an ACK or a NAC based on our business logic. If it is ACK to the queue, that means if it is an acknowledgement to the queue, then the message will be removed from the queue. It's as simple as that. Now, now you see here I have configured NACK here, right? So basically we configure NACK if we get some, it's up to us. So I'm not talking about the logic, but I'm talking here about the concept that okay, you send NACK, That means whatever the message you consumed here, right, that will be not deleted from the queue. It will always be a NAC here. So it will be not deleted from the queue forever. But you have to write some logic. Um, for example, let us say that we got some invalid payload from the queue. Let's say in each and every payload, you are expecting something, some key called as gender. For example, for some reason, if one payload is not having something like gender or whatever, then um, you can send NAC, right? Or you can delete this and ignore that actually. So it's up to you um, how your logic will be. But NAC is something you're always pushing back that message into the queue. For example, if I give you a proper example, let's say I'm sending some HTTP request to some other end system. But for example, if that is failing, okay, then I can send NAC, right? So that the message will be sent back to the queue. Okay. If it is anyway, if you are getting some success response from that HTTP request, then we are good to send ACK, right? So that as simple as that. Okay. So we are sending a message to some external system after consumption, after we consume the message from the queue. And if that external call is resulting into success, I'll send ACK. And if that external call is resulting in some error, then I'll send a NAC so that it will be again placed back into the queue. So I just have given some small example, but it can be more complex when it comes to the real time. Okay, yeah. So if it is a NAC to the queue, the message will still exist in the queue for the redelivery. Okay, this is the flexibility you'll get using manual SCK mode. That is, you'll have the control when to send a NAC and when to send a NAC. That is no acknowledgement. Okay. So I'll show you these two flows in the Anypoint Studio now. So now we are done with the immediate mode as well completely. Now, um, yeah, this is the subscriber and the acknowledgement mode is manual. Here, ACK token. So this will be generated, okay, or this is required when you are configuring the ACK mode as manual because as we talked that okay we have the control when to send ACK and when to send NAC, right? But if you are sending a NAC you need something as some parameter to notify the subscriber, okay, um, that you please remove the message from the queue. So that this is the token that gets generated when you use the manual mode. So if you want to check, right, add a logger here before this variable or within this processor section as the first operation and try to add this and print it so that you'll understand that a token is actually getting generated as soon as the message is consumed. Okay, you'll understand that an ACK token is getting generated. Okay, so yeah, this is the token that you have to send along with either ACK or with NSCK. Okay, so if it is an NAC, it will be placed back into the queue or will not be removed from the queue. If it is an ACK, it will be removed from the queue. So yeah, we were talking on the same thing again and again, but yeah, so we have seen these operations except consume, right? We have seen all the other operations like ACK, NAC, publish, and subscriber. Okay, subscriber is something you can only add to this source section when you add consume, right? It can be only added or placed in the processor section. Okay, this you can explore by yourselves. Okay, we have only two um, acknowledgement modes here, but this is only difference is that yeah you have only two acknowledgement modes, and if at all if you have to consume a message in the middle of the flow, you can use the consume operation. Or if your flow has to start with the consumption of the message, then you'll keep or you'll use the subscriber, okay, in the source part. So um, yeah, so we have discussed about at a high level about these different acknowledgement modes. What are the difference between them, and what is anypoint MQ, and how to create client app, how to um, create Anypoint MQ configuration in the Anypoint Studio, and we have seen different operations, all the operations, almost all the operations, right? Um, and we also have spoken about Exchange and FIFO queue, right? So I'll try to uh, show you as a I mean, in a pictorial representation, right, in the next session regarding the Exchange and FIFO queue. But yeah, Exchange is something it will help you in broadcasting the message to the different queues, and FIFO queue where you'll have the preservance of the sequence, okay, even at the time of consuming the message, okay. Yeah, so we have seen all these things, and we also have spoken about um, the TTL and the acknowledgement timeout. So basically, if I extend a little on this acknowledgement timeout, right? For example, now you have picked the message, and let's say you have chosen acknowledgement mode as manual. But for example, for some reason you are not sending any acknowledgement, right? For 2 minutes, okay? Then automatically the message will be placed into the queue because it did not receive any acknowledgement, right? So it will be moved back into the queue. Okay. So that is the so it will wait for 2 minutes. As per this setting, it will wait for the acknowledgement for a particular message for 2 minutes. And if you are not sending any acknowledgement for 2 minutes, it will be placed back into the queue. Okay, you can even set it as 1 minute, or you can change this time unit. Okay, so yeah, and the TTL also you can change. This is time to live. So let's say you are not picking the message for 7 days, or let's say for 8 days, then it will be automatically removed from the queue. So this 7 days is specific to a message. Okay, you place a message today. So whatever the message you place tomorrow, uh, it will have 7 more days. I mean, the lifetime of that particular message will be for 7 more days. Okay, so this is per message actually. You place 50 messages at a time. Those 50 messages will live for uh, 7 days, and you place 100 messages tomorrow. Those 100 messages will have lifespan of 7 more days starting from tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. So we'll talk about the dead letter queue in the next session. I have covered very slightly on the dead letter queue, and yeah, so if you have the enterprise subscription for this Anypoint MQ, right? You can create the POCs like the way I have created, and understand these concepts, okay, practically. And you can also, if you have missed anything, right, so far, you can also cover them by going through the documentation given by MuleSoft, and you can understand it practically. Okay, so that's it from my side for this session. I hope you understood something out of this, and we'll also talk about the limitations. We'll also give a walkthrough. I mean, on the frequently asked questions for this Anypoint MQ in the next session if possible. Okay. So thank you so much for your time and for listening to my video. Thank you.